Greetings, my beautiful hostess and my beautiful people in the world. This is your favorite host, Ilona from Ilona TV. And of course, my goal is to hunt after the brilliant people who are not just only achieved things, but went through the rock bottom to achieve what they have and experience the life that they have never experienced before, because now they value what they have more than anything else. And in front of me today, we have a special guest, again, the survivor from the genocide of Rwanda genocide, Darius. So he's going to be sharing his story. How did he survive that horrific event, and what made him a man that he is today, and how he impacts people with a purpose to achieve what they have to achieve in life. So greetings, Darius, today.
Greetings. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's the name of one of the kings in the Bible, right?
Yeah.
Darius. So we're going to talk about that later. But of course, we put the buzzword out there, and I introduce you as a survivor of Rwanda genocide.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Could you please just walk us through historically, when did it happen? Also, why did it happen? I know that history is very subjective, so we want you to share your side of the story, because you were the one who have impacted by that horrific event, and just walk us through just historically, and then we will go deeper.
Absolutely. So I won't claim that I'm the historian, but according to my knowledge and what I've read and what I've heard from my parents or my grandparents, the genocide didn't really, a lot of people know that it started in 1994. But when you go back, the people start killing each other in 1959, I believe, and then 1963, that's where people start going out of Rwanda, such as going to neighbors such as Uganda, Tanzania, and Congo. So those kind of country, people just immigrate there. And then the main event was 1994, is where actually really over a million people were killed in 90 days. So, and that's what I witnessed when I was age 9. I remember like it was yesterday. Yeah.
You know what? This is something that is very close to my heart. I am a direct descendant of Armenian genocide survivors, and my great-grandfather, at the age of 9, escaped genocide, and he remembered this day as it was, like you said, yesterday.
Absolutely.
And because of his memory, he was able to share that it through his generation to his children, and then their children, and myself.
Yeah.
So I want to. So what is something that you remembered as a 9 years old back then? What did life looked like at that moment that you remember?
You know, as a kid who had a big family, grandparents on both sides, and aunts and uncles at the time, I thought that was heaven. I grew up in the village. I wasn't in the city. I didn't know the lights. I didn't know to wear shoes or things like that. You know, we were just a big old family that just in the village, just living that lifestyle. And I remember one morning I woke up, and my father, we looked, some who don't know, Rwanda, the nickname of Rwanda is 1,000 hills. So our country is a hilly country. So I remember waking up with the sun shining in my face, and we saw a lot of smokes on the hills across the valley. And my father, I asked what's going on, and I remember him patting on my back and says, "Son, it's gonna be okay." You know, it didn't take long. That smoke we were seeing like 30 minutes an hour, so it were coming to the hill where we used to live. And then they start saying that they were killing Tutsi. So So obviously it was a Hutu and Tutsi tribal issue was going on. So I was Tutsi, and the Tutsi were the one that were being hunted.
I know that unfortunately the history repeats itself, but we tend not to listen or pay attention.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, again, that this genocide was not the first genocide that had happened. And people believe that it's okay to demolish, destroy the nation of the surface of the of the earth,
Right.
that they have a right to do so.
Yeah.
How did you view life today, and what lessons have you learned from that horrific event? Just your personal experience.
You know, my personal experience and what I kind of learned from what I've experienced. You know, when I was little, I have kids, and sometimes I look in my son's eyes or my daughter's, and relate to how my father felt at that time. And I could not imagine the pain he was going through. Looking kids being snatched from their parents, and the parents being killed. So when I look back and see my son and see my daughter, it tremendously pains me to relate as a father to my parents or other parents who are going through the same thing. So we have a saying in Rwanda that never again. I'm sure there's saying anywhere else, but I've learned that to respect and what is called human rights, and that's actually I was inspired when I came to the state. I went to university and I majored in human rights studies. So hopefully I can leave a better legacy than I've found in Rwanda. So yeah.
Usually, when person experience the pain and understands that the pain, causes the pain and troubles and struggles, they will never do anything to hurt others, because they know that it demolishes, it destroys, it removes something from you that you are not. But it not always turns out this way. Some people who are hurt, they want to hurt.
Absolutely.
So why do you think, we'll just go like in the kind of different, open it up a little bit different. Why do you think people hurt each other?
That's a really good question. As someone who study African tribalism, I think people have different understanding. When we're talking about this genocide, we're talking about people that look like each other. People you cannot differentiate. This is the issue that brought with colonizer, but they say, hey, if you're taller, you have long nose, you're this tribe. There is no scientific that proves that, hey, I'm a Hutu, I'm a Tutsi, right? So with your question, I believe that the ideology of people, especially those people who are uneducated, especially in those in the village, because when the genocide were happening, they'll pick young people, like let's say 16 all the way to like 30. They say, hey, that's your enemy. That's your enemy. You have to kill them so you can have all this, So it's very hard to find the really root causes of how people really decide, you know what, I'm gonna pick a machete and I'm gonna cut the neck of my neighbor. I haven't really got to understand. I'm still looking the answers, because I know a lot of people that survived. We survived together. They're not here no more because of hurting. Some commit suicide later. Some went to drugs. Some were killed by HIV because of the hurting you mentioned.
Yeah, and yes, one person cannot save the humanity, but when we come together, we can do something powerful.
Absolutely.
There's a scripture in the Bible when David was pleading God, and God gave him three options. You know, because of your sin, I'm going to give you three things. Either I'm going to punish you, I'm going to punish the land, or I'm going to let men take care of you to the war. He said, do whatever it takes. Just do not put me in the hands of the humans, because humans are most unpredictable and dangerous.
Absolutely.
Can destroy, build, remove, and some of the things that is happening right now with the nature that we think nature causes. Human can cause that.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, with coronavirus that happened, right? Some of the wildfires, some of the earthquake. There's a lot of things that human can produce to kill the humanity, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So it's very dangerous to be in the hands of the humans, right? So you went through a lot of the things. So, and you mentioned that you have a children.
Yes.
How do they see the life in America right now that you haven't seen that?
It's hard to untangle that question because all my children were born here, and luckily I've took them to Rwanda a couple of times. They don't understand yet. My goal in the future is to write a book at least for them to understand my story, so other people. But my children. Typical American kids.
Yeah.
They're just, hey, Dad, we don't know what's going on, but hey, good job. I guess you survived. You know, but they're good kids, and every time we go to Rwanda, they get to experience, see how kids have little things, and no toys and no nothing. So I was just trying to create and bring Africa to them, and sometimes they'll go to it. Because it's good for them to have both views.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. The more abroad you have a view, wild view, right, world view, that better you'll be able to make decisions, and for yourself as well to decide. So it's always good to have to both. And I always tell my kids, you're blessed because you have perspective. Sometimes I share the stories of how I survived the war of the fall of the Soviet Union, and it's hard for them to understand that because in America, praise God, and I'm just praying God that it will never happen, that they haven't faced that. And like you said, as your father was crying over you to protect you, now I remember how my mom and my parents were crying over us children to protect us, and I'm the same way too over my kids. I'm like, God, do not let ever that event ever come near to my children or our children in the world, period. They do not deserve to see or go through this pain. They do not. And as I wrote my first book, I put, just for my own sake and my children, the events, what I went through, the genocide, the survivor of the fall of the Soviet Union. So you know what? I'm like, they may not listen to me now, but one day, this book is going to speak volume to them, and it will leave legacy.
No doubt.
Right? And that's why we write books.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Not for the world to know us, but to leave some pain behind, some experience to them, and a legacy.
Absolutely.
To them. So I want to congratulate and celebrate your at least mindfulness of writing one. I'm going to encourage you to write one, and be that voice for your children. That one day they will, you know what? Let me read the book.
Absolutely.
Now they're reading the book, and I know you're reading the books. And sometimes in a solitude they can understand even more about life and things, and appreciate what you went through too, right, in life.
Learn from it too. Yeah.
So you came to America through the pain, through the devastation, through the hurt. What is your goal? What is your purpose here in America?
You know, so I know this 30 minutes. We can't really hit all the points.
Yeah.
But usually when I'm sharing my story, one day going through that, I don't know if you can see my lips, some of my lips have some scars because of living in the bush and I couldn't eat food. I couldn't find the food, so I would eat like plants or eat something that raw. So my lips are kind of scarred, and it never goes away. Um, what I'm saying is, going through one day through the genocide, when people are hunting you, when dogs hunting you, um, it felt like eternity. So when I'm sharing, I usually tell people I can't really tell you, because the one day was equal eternity to me. So going through it 90 days, 3 months, I can't really share everything, right? But to answer your question, my goal in life and here in America, I remember when I finished high school, I used to go back to my village. So I left my village when I survived, and then I went to the city when I was younger. And I remember I used to go back to the village and look the people over there that killed my family, killed other family. They're suffering. Most of the men went to jail. Some went outside of Rwanda. And the women, the kids are suffering. Like there is no difference. They didn't gain anything from it. So I used to go back and look in my little knowledge I had at the time. I was like, what can I do? So I grew up with that thought. And then after high school, I remember I attended a discipleship. There is some missionary came to Rwanda. They were teaching us, and then they asked, what's your purpose? What purpose do you have? And I remember I wasn't Christian at the time. They were teaching us some Bibles, and I started getting into it. And I said, you know what, my purpose is to unite people back in my village. I don't want to see a tribe such as Hutu or Tutsi. I said, oh, that's good purpose. So you asked my purpose. So my purpose is to be able to go back to my village, as I've been doing, to make sure that division, I can do my part, tackle down the division that used to be, and just unite people as Rwandans. As now we say, there's no more, Hutu, there's Tutsi. No, we say we are Rwandans. So that's my purpose, to be able to share from my pen, to love people like don't deserve it as they think that they don't deserve it.
I like when people have a purpose. And to some, the purpose may not be big, but purpose is a purpose, has a meaning to it, has a passion to it. And your purpose is pretty big, to unite the people who don't want to be united. It's been generational kind of stigma in there as well. So they want to have their own identity as the tribe. And when you want to unite something that then have no similarities, it's hard for them to see that.
Absolutely.
That is a purpose behind that. So you will, I like that dreams and the purpose should not be easy to accomplish. You will face resistance, you know that.
Trust me,
You will face lots of oppositions, you know that.
Yeah.
Because we do something that the world is not allow us to do.
Absolutely.
Because we know that darkness doesn't like light.
Right.
And that's exactly what's happening in the world, right? Right now, every time you want to shine, you bother somebody else's light, right? Into their face. It bothers, they cannot open their spiritual, emotional eyes to see that light. And that's why they do whatever it takes to dim it, to shatter it, right? To stop it. And but do not put your lamp under the table.
Absolutely. Thank
right?
you.
Be the salt of the world, the lamp
On the hill.
into your face, so you'll be able to keep going and going. Let me also, like you said, that the missionaries came to your country. They talked about Bible, and you got into the Bible. So what is your relation right now with the Bible, God's Word, and God?
So my story, it has twist. So I remember how I actually became a Christian, how I accept Jesus, and it's a funny story. But I remember I was on the street. I was a street kid. After the genocide, there's chaos. There's a bunch of kids on the street. I was one of them. I remember I was sitting at the gate at the restaurant. There's a gate. I'm sitting there. This guy comes after the meal. He's leaving. I say, hey, can you give me some money so I can get some food? He said, no, I don't have money, man. I don't have money, but I have something. Like, what do you mean? If you don't have money,
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
don't need
looking at
anything else.
Yeah. So he's like, I have a church down here. If you come on Sunday, just come on Sunday. I was like, okay, you know. So, long story short, Sunday I went there. It wasn't that far. I went there, and then I remember it was like he was just studying church. He was looking people. The church had like 15 people in there.
Oh.
And after the service, I said, "Hey, I came. Can I get some? I'm hungry. You know, I'm wearing shorts and feet." So it's like, no, I mean, I accept Jesus. He prayed for me and all that kind of stuff. And he said, "All right, I'll see you next Sunday." I was like, okay. So I came here thinking, you're going to give me some. Obviously, I didn't tell him, but I'm thinking in my head. So next Sunday, I come back. You know, I go on the street back and just do my thing. Next Sunday, I come back. He's like, oh, thank you for coming. And I did for 4 times coming to church. No penny. He never gave me anything. I think the last 4 Sunday, I was the last 4 weeks I was going there. I was about to quit. And the last Sunday, he tells me, he's like, you know what? How about you come on Wednesday? I'll take a picture for you. So he was looking sponsor for kids and that kind of stuff. So he took a picture. I came. He took a picture of me. They found me a sponsor here in America.
Yep.
So as they got a sponsor, I started going to school. And I went to orphanage. They took me in the orphanage. And life turned around because of that consistent and accepting Jesus. And that, you know, since then I never looked back.
Yeah. So one act of your obedience, he gave you more than just the food.
Absolutely.
That because we were seeking for the physical, you know, and that's how God said that, right? He fed people first before he preached to them.
Yeah.
Because he understood that empty stomach is the way to opening up with the miracles, right?
Yeah.
It is what it is, and that's exactly how you became obedient, believed in him, trusted him. When one Sunday got, okay, where's my food? Next one, and you never look back with that, which is great. God is a foundational. He's so amazing in here. So what's next for you?
What is next for me? So I just moved here to Minnesota not too long ago with my partner, and my goals, I've been working since 2013. That's where I started Safari Legacy. It's to create awareness of the people that are suffering from the, survivors, not just survivors, but the. So I focus on widows and abandoned women by providing goats, and goats is kind of a position to them, and that goat helps them to get next clothing, get next meal. It helps. It helps a lot. A lot of people here really don't understand, but it does help a lot. So I'm trying to reach out to, with the little hope, to reach out to everybody to understand my story. At the same time, help these people back. And I usually take people from here, go to Rwanda. Rwanda is a peaceful country now. You will not believe if you go to Rwanda and see how peaceful and people are.
Yeah, one day I'll make a trip there. I've been invited to visit some of the countries in Africa to experience that lifestyle and kind of bring a little bit of hope, because people over there, they like others, right? They like missionaries so bad. They want to touch them, and they want to just feel them and smell them. I remember my friend went to Africa for a mission trip, and she said they could not stop smelling my hair.
I know. Trust me, there's nothing weird like it will be here, but
Yeah.
that's how they are.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're welcoming. It's different worlds to them. We're opening, right?
Yeah.
And my parents also. I mean, my great grandparents from the genocide. He was rescued by American missionaries.
Wow.
I was also impacted by American missionaries after the fall of the Soviet Union. So missionaries have a purpose
Absolutely. Yeah.
that they carry throughout. We smell them. We want what they have for
Yeah,
us.
absolutely.
And they do have for us the physical food, physical touch, and also besides with that, with the spiritual one that we, like I said, we never looked back in there as well too. So, what is your main message?
My main message is just very simple. You know, I've been going around just sharing my story, more just to not really, it's not about me, it's about the people behind me, that people cannot speak for themselves, people that not able to share their stories, to be able to know that there is some people that listening and watching and cares and want to reach out and help, and also understand that people are suffering, but just some people have power to help get them out that suffering. So so it's very simple, just be able to share and speak the word for other people that I'm representing.
Yes, it's good to find a like-minded people also to help you. And like there's a saying, and I always use that: you cannot go to the moon alone. You have to have a team.
Right.
It's not that it's impossible to do what we do, but it will be longer, a little bit harder, maybe more frustrated to do it by ourselves. So I pray that God will provide you these angels by your side, just like to Moses, he provided the two people to hold his hands while he was praying. So because as he was praying, his hands were going down because he was so tired. And when his hands were going down, guess what? They were losing. The minute his hands were going up to pray, they were winning. But he became so tired, he could not do it anymore. And God had provided for him this to support. So I'm praying that God will provide the same to support for you, that will help you to hold your hands as long while the battle is happening. A spiritual battle is happening, maybe even physical battle is happening in one way or another between the tribes and even more. So if you had a chance right now to speak to the global ambassador of peace, what would you tell him right now?
That's a good one. I would love to tell the global ambassador that that the people out there, especially in East Africa in general, or anywhere in the world, people needs peace and people needs hope. People needs to. There is enough in this world to be anxious and scared of, but we should not be scared of other human. We should not be scared of our neighbors.
Yes.
We should not be able to not have food on the table because people are on the move, on being refugees, and we have enough droughts, we have enough disaster in the world, but a little, and as you mentioned, some of us we cause it, So I will ask just to lift people up. There's people needs hope and needs to hear that they matter.
Yes, exactly.
So
and that's important, like to bring the hope. What's next for you?
my next, I really want to say thank you before anything else. This is what I enjoy. My next is to get used to Minnesota, the coding, and also find the people like you that want to hear my story, want to hear the story of Rwanda, and keep sharing and grow this, and be able to keep doing what I've been doing since 2013, helping people. When we start 2013, we start with 50 women. Right now we sponsor over 600 women.
Wow.
So and we had to pause because of COVID and all
Yes.
that kind of stuff. But that's my passion. That's really my passion. Um, yeah.
If people are listening to you just because we have like wide audience, you never know, right? How can they support you in your ministry?
So I have a website. It's called safarilegacy.org. Um, Also, I'm really terrible with social media. I do have a page for my ministry, but also like just sending emails to Darius Safari 21 at gmail.com. So that will reach me.
Yes.
Yeah. So
That's important to stay connected and find the network and the right people to support as well. So more we support one another, the better we'll live.
absolutely.
And then because God says to give and to take, right? We have two hands for the reason. We want to give and bless somebody else. We want to be blessed by God.
Amen.
So we'll be able to kind of replicate and do the same over and over and over. So I want to thank you for coming to our show, to Ilona TV, where stories do change lives. We are very diverse.
Amen.
We are very transparent. I want to hear everybody's stories. I want to understand what they go through, and I want to share what they go through with our audience so they will be able to relate,
Right.
understand also, and live through that and experience and grow from it too, because we never know how many people are struggling with the same subject, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we need the male figure, we need the male voice, we need female voice that we also want to implement. So it's a lot of things that I want people to also know and be part of it.
Yes.
So thank you for coming, and I want to continue. I want to wish you to continue to do what you're doing, no matter how frustrated one days will be with the struggles, with the pain. So do not give up, and always remember where you came from.
Amen.
That
Yeah.
pain that pushed you from Rwanda, you were alive for the reason.
Yeah.
Your friends did not make it.
Yeah.
You did. So you can help others to make it too.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Absolutely.
This just getting started. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So today we had the amazing opportunity to understand the legacy. And it doesn't have to be grandiose, it doesn't have to be big, but it has to have a purpose.
Yes.
If you have a purpose today, based on what you know, that's how you can build a legacy. So you can leave the mark in the world. You leave the mark with your family, with your loved ones, to make a change, to make a difference. Because yes, you can. Just like our guest and every other guest, if they can achieve that, so can you. And remember, no matter what, do not let anyone dim your light. This was Ilona, your favorite celebrity TV host from Ilona TV, where stories change lives.